Hello to everybody who's absent. Today is the second in a series of videos to support you in writing a strong, persuasive essay. Today I'm going to talk about body paragraphs. So, first checkpoint before we get to a body paragraph and actually writing is, have I done my research? Have I used all of the tools, the planners that have been given to me to make sure I have enough evidence to proceed? So, ask yourself, do I have enough evidence? Look through your planner. Do I have enough to justify each of my ideas? If you don't, you need to go back and do some more research. If you cannot find anything, you're going to need to think about redefining your thesis so that you can come up with 3 equally strong paragraphs. Second, are each of your ideas distinct? And by that, do I mean, will each of your paragraphs have their own distinct argument? Of course, they're going to relate back to the main idea, but they do need to make sure that they relate to each other but don't overlap each other. We want to avoid repetition when we are writing our essay, especially a shorter essay like this. So let's jump into the actual format. When I'm writing a paragraph, I'm typically going to aim for between 8 and 14 sentences. Of course, that varies tremendously depending on what kind of a writer you are and how much you actually have to go off of. But this is in general a good number to aim for. Every one of our body paragraphs is going to follow the same format. It's going to have a topic sentence that introduces the main idea of the paragraph. It's going to have all the evidence, and then it's going to end with a concluding transition sentence that hints at our next sentence to come. So let's take a look at the example I've given here. Suppose I was writing an essay on the themes in And Then There Were None. And my first body paragraph was going to be about the theme of honesty and how it was shown in the book. A good introductory sentence for that would be to say something like, a major theme in the novel was the importance of honesty. I've very clearly expressed there what my paragraph is going to be talking about. Now, of course, I want to make sure I'm not going off topic now and talking about something completely different when I bring up my evidence. But you get the idea. I'm going to focus on honesty. From there, I'm going to bring forward my evidence. We'll talk more about what kind of evidence you would use, but here's an example of the sort of thing I might say. So again, I'm talking about the importance of honesty as a theme in And Then There Were None. I might give an example from the book, like, when Armstrong lied about the death of Wargrave by saying he's been shot on page 187, he actually put himself in grave danger. This lie gave Wargrave the opportunity to kill him later on. From there, I'm going to give all the evidence that I've got, and I'm going to end the paragraph with some sort of a transition that moves on. It wraps up my topic, but it moves on to the next topic, whatever it might be. So I'm going to wrap up with my example here. Honesty plays a major role in the book, so I'm hinting back to what I've just talked about, but it was far from the only message Agatha Christie relayed through the actions of the characters. So I've gone on to hint that there is more I'm going to be talking about. So let's summarize. What kind of evidence should I be using? Again, it's dependent on your topic. The type of evidence I'd use in a science paper versus a social paper versus an English paper is going to vary wildly. Of course, for this paper, we're writing it based on a novel. And so specific quotes and evidence from the novel are things that you're going to really want to utilize here. That would be the expectation. Now, there are some things that I might use instead, like real-world examples. Some of the questions I may be able to incorporate, ideas from our justice system or relate to other characters from other novels or movies or shows that I've seen. Okay? Again, as long as it relates to my topic and I can explain it, I can use a lot of different things as evidence. I can even use experiences of my own. When I'm looking at the evidence I use, I want to make sure that the evidence I use is specific. So I don't want to make general statements like Armstrong was suspicious in the book or Armstrong was dishonest in the book without having some sort of evidence to back it up. I know you're probably saying to yourself, yeah, but he was dishonest in the book. And that's fine, but you need to assume the reader of your essay doesn't know that. Okay? So I want to pick out evidence that's supported. So again, instead of saying he's dishonest in the book, I could say something like, on page 27, Armstrong was dishonest in saying, and then finish that sentence off by giving the specific example or a specific quote that Armstrong said that was dishonest. Makes for a far more valid argument, and that's what we aim for in academic writing. This one also doesn't apply quite as much to this type of an essay, but variation in the type of evidence we use is also crucial. I don't want to repeat myself, like I said on the earlier slide. So I want to make sure that I'm using different kinds of evidence or different ways of phrasing things. So I don't want to use exclusively quotes from the book. I might want to mix in some of my personal opinion and some quotes from the book and just some evidence from other parts of the book that aren't just direct quotes. We want to have a variety there, keep my reader into whatever it is. I like to compare this to giving somebody a sandwich. If it's got one ingredient on, they could really like that ingredient. It could be a great ingredient, but the sandwich is going to be kind of boring overall because it's just that one plain ingredient. We need the multiple ingredients working together to create a cohesive and strong body paragraph. Hopefully that gives you a bit better idea of the way to go. If you're still stuck, check the resource material that I've posted and make sure you're coming in and asking questions or attending tutorials. Good luck in your writing, everyone.